Okay, this is verses 6, 7, and 8 of Dakshinamurti Stotram. This is the second last class. Tomorrow will be the last class in this 6 sloka 10 Stotram, 10 verse teaching. Verse 6 is consciousness is present in deep sleep. And this verse, it describes one of the 3 states of mind, that is the 3 states of experience. Remember, experience is in the mind, we've already looked at. So this state that we're looking at now in this verse is deep sleep. In the 7th verse, we're going to be looking at the other 2 states, which is dream state and the waking state. We use our Adi Shankaracharya uses a metaphor here, which is the eclipsing of the sun and the moon. The rishis, the ancient rishis knew that the sun never moves. They knew that the earth revolved around the sun. But an eclipse was described in a very mythological way. And it is through a concept of a hidden planet called the Rahu, which was mythologically spoken about, described as a cosmic snake. Rahu was the head of the cosmic snake, and Ketu was the tail, which Rahu was a planet and Ketu was another planet. Okay. And the snake would sneak up on the sun and devour it, but only temporarily. This eclipsing of the sun and moon in this metaphor is representing deep sleep. Because when you can't see the sun or moon during an eclipse, does it stop shining? No, it doesn't stop shining. You can't see it shining, but both still shine. In deep sleep, there's a total eclipse. And because there's absolute darkness on the screen of your mind, yet shining continues. This is important, this part. The illumination of the mind continues, and consciousness shines unabated, unimpeded, and unchanged. And what that's saying is that in deep sleep, there is an absence of Dvaita, duality. There is an absence of experience, but there's not an absence of avidya. Avidya maya continues. That's why when you waken, you knew that you were in deep sleep. Something must be present, and there is a vritti called avidya vritti. That's how you know you've been in deep sleep. If there was a complete dissolution of maya, you would not know that you were in deep sleep, because there would be no deep sleep. Do you understand? Is everybody following me with this? To be in deep sleep means there is an I that was in deep sleep, a person that was in deep sleep. Okay, so there can't be a complete dissolution of maya, karnam, the effect of maya. Vikshepa Shakti continues. That Shakti, that maya power of the world continues even in deep sleep. It's just that experience doesn't continue. So that's why the illumination of the mind continues. So this consciousness, it shines during your waking state, during a dream state, and it shines identically during deep sleep. But in deep sleep, it illumines the absence of activities in the mind. And like the sun and the moon still shines during an eclipse, a person who's in deep sleep, because of withdrawal of the senses, the mind is turned off, the screen of the mind goes dark, so to speak. The senses here refer to Yanandriya, which is the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. It also includes the inner organ called the antakaran or the antakarana, which is the mind, but we're going to look at it a bit more. The antakarana has 4 faculties. which include the mind, intellect, memory, and ego. The ego is ahamkara, the intellect is buddhi. The ahamkara, the ego, the ahamkara is the I, is in regard to I, the sense of what you are. The intellect, the buddhi, is where you assimilate jnana. That's where assimilation takes place. But generally, the antakarana refers to the mind. And this withdrawal of the mind, it's caused by maya. And Swami Taratananda has broken down two different standpoints, two perspectives here of maya. One perspective is that of the individual, and the other perspective is of the whole or the total. So we have the individual perspective and the perspective of totality. So ignorance is seen from the standpoint of individual and whole. From the standpoint of the individual, it is the individual's ignorance, just called ignorance. From the standpoint of all sentient beings in existence, it's aggregate conscious ignorance, totality, and that's called maya. So maya is in regard to the collective ignorance, and ignorance is in regard to individual ignorance. So microcosm is ignorance, macrocosm is maya. And Swami Taratananda poses a question: when you're awake, do you have ignorance? Ignorance in this context is the non-recognition of the self, non-recognition of your limitlessness, your ananda swarupa, your limitless, your ness, your being, your ness, your limitlessness. Yeah. This is non-recognition of the self as Sat Chit Ananda Atma. And it's likely that this is present during your waking state. If you're not enlightened, if you have ignorance during waking state, that is transferred to ignorance in the dream state. And when you go in deep sleep, ignorance is still present. Avidya is still present. What is experienced in deep sleep with the absence of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions is perfect ignorance. It sounds a bit like an oxymoron, doesn't it? Perfect ignorance. But it's still avidya, it's still ignorance. Let's say knowledge, we represent knowledge by light, and ignorance is represented by darkness. In deep sleep, there is a perfect experience of the darkness of ignorance. Like if we throw a blanket over our heads now, a really thick blanket, everything becomes dark. But we still have the praman of sight. We're not blind, we still have the praman of sight, but what do we see? We see darkness. This metaphor, there's a similar metaphor used in Drikta Shrivek, if you remember, is that we're in a room with black walls, no light, and all we can see is darkness. We are still seeing darkness, but we can't, you understand what I mean? There's still dark. We're still seeing, but what we're seeing is darkness. Okay. Doesn't mean we're blind, it means that we're just seeing darkness. So in deep sleep, ignorance is still present, but it doesn't have any characteristic or qualities, like we're looking into darkness, into blackness. No characteristics, no qualities. Okay. So we don't perceive anything about ignorance because of this blanket of ignorance, this dark blanket of ignorance. But consciousness still shines in deep sleep. Consciousness shines, consciousness illumines the blanket of perfect ignorance. If it didn't, then there would be no blanket of perfect ignorance. Okay. So Swami Taratananda teaches that in deep sleep, your experience is the experience of nothing, which is still an experience. Even this non-experience is an experience. It's an experience of no experience. In the waking state, you are Sat Chit Ananda Atma plus body, mind, senses, plus all the experiences in the mind, plus ignorance. Quite a lot. In dream state, you are Sat Chit Ananda Atma without the body, mind, and senses, but with dream experiences in the mind plus ignorance. In deep sleep, you are Sat Chit Ananda Atma without body, mind, senses, without any experiences in the mind plus ignorance. So in deep sleep, you are Sat Chit Ananda Atma plus ignorance. Okay. Speaking about the person, okay? Or I'll rephrase that. We're speaking about Jivatma, Jiva, which is the person, but more than that. But consciousness remains through all these Atma, remains through all these states. You can see this, yeah? Through these three states of experience, what is constant is Atma, is consciousness. So we go further into this metaphorical teaching. The one who, or this metaphorical way of explaining, the teachings aren't metaphor. Okay. So the one who thus recognizes at the time of waking up that before I slept, consciousness remains present throughout, and consciousness did not sleep. Consciousness, it's not like a light bulb in a refrigerator. Whenever the door is closed in a refrigerator, then the light goes off. But consciousness is not like that. It's always present. In order for the person to know anything, you need the mind. We need the mind, but the mind's not present in deep sleep. So once we waken, we recognize that we were conscious about deep sleep, which is why ignorance remains, avidya remains, which is why there is an avidya vritti, which is knowing that we're in deep sleep. We can only know that we are in deep sleep if there was something present in the absence of experience. Yeah. Which is Atma plus ignorance. This verse 6, ends with the one who remains as pure consciousness in deep sleep unto that this salutation, who is in the form of my Guru, as well as in the form of Dakshinamurti, God. Verse 7 is, you are consciousness. Verse 6, we looked at deep sleep and explained the presence of consciousness in deep sleep. And in this verse, we're going to look at the other two states of mind, which are the waking state and the dream state, even though there are many other states of life as well. So we have the waking state, we have the dream state, we have the deep sleep state, and there's other states, there's other types of experiences like childhood, youth, adult, old age. But in all these different experiences, one thing persists, which is unchanging. It is continually shining within as I. That is consciousness. The I is not the ego. It's referring to the true self-consciousness. It refers to the conscious being. And this is important. John said this in a topic on Sunday that he made in the group, that when we say I am Brahman, we're not referring to I am Brahman. We're not referring to the ego. The ego isn't even referring to itself as Brahman, even though the ego is Brahman. But saying Aham Brahmasmi is referring to I am Brahman, which I am limitless consciousness, which means I am not referring to this person. It refers to the conscious being. So the one who knows your mind, your experiences now, and the one who knew when you were 1 month old is the same, but there seems to be some kind of discrepancy. The 1 month old boy that was Robert, the body of the 1 month old boy is not a Robert. It's not the same body as a 45-year-old man. The mind of the 1-year-old boy Robert, the mind of 1 month old Robert, is not the same mind as 45-year-old Robert. So, but yet I will still say that I am the same person. The mind's not the same and the body's not the same, yet I will still say I'm the same person. So what is it that's the same? It's not the body, it's not the mind. So what is the same? It's consciousness. The consciousness is the only thing that is the same. Yeah. We even know scientifically, medically, the body is not the same it was 3-4 years ago. The body's always changing and replicating. So I repeat it to really drive this home. Between you are 1 month old and your age now, the body is not the same. It's not the same body. It's not the same mind. Yet through all that time, you refer to you as you. The I does not change for you, even though the body and mind change. So what the heck does this I mean? What is it referring to? It can only be something which does not change. Yeah? Because you feel that you're the same from when you were young to when you're now. You understand, you look in the mirror, the body changes, but there's something in you that you must, if you think about it, does not change. There's this I that does not change. I am me. It's like, how do we say I am me? I have always been me. Well, what does that mean? What does that really refer to? Even those words seem to imply something which does not change. I am me. I have always been me. Always. Sounds like something that does not change. So the consciousness of the 1 month old baby and the consciousness of you now is the exact same consciousness. It's the exact same. That's what the I refers to, really. Adi Shankaracharya teaches that in all these states, childhood, adolescence, middle age, whatever, there's something shining within that's always present. And this is known as I. This is the true self, consciousness, Atma. That consciousness is the real you, and it persists through all states. That consciousness is present through all stages of life: prenatal, childhood, teenage years, adulthood, in all states of mind, waking, dream, and deep sleep. Okay, well, that sounds nice, but how do we come to understand this? There are two ways that Vedanta, in this text, Vedanta will show us how to understand this, and one is the meaning of one's own self. It's self-evident. Do you feel that you need to tell somebody that you're a conscious being? Do you not already know that you're a conscious being? It's an absurd question, isn't it? Do you need to read in the book that you're aware of your experiences? Really? Hardly. It's obvious. So your consciousness is already self-established. It's self-revealing. The fact that you exist is self-evident, isn't it? You exist. The fact that you're conscious of that existence is self-evident as well. It's not arrived at logically. You don't need a course, a diploma, a degree to understand that you're conscious, that you're aware, that you exist, do you? It's not a product of thinking, is it? Do you have to think whether you exist or not? For somebody to even say they don't exist, how can you say you don't exist? If you don't exist, you can't even say you don't exist. There's no person to say I don't exist then, is there? It's crazy, isn't it? So it's a fundamental truth of who you are. So consciousness, your consciousness reveals itself, self-revealing. The other way is that somebody reveals that you are Sat Chit Ananda Atma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. You are existence, Sat Chit Ananda. You are existence, consciousness, limitlessness. You are Satyam Jnanam Anantam. You are aware of your infinitude. You're infinite. You are aware that you're aware that you are unchanging and infinite. Okay, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Your consciousness, it's identical, which means it's non-separate with the reality because of which everything exists. The consciousness that has enlivened this body you're looking at now is the same consciousness that has enlivened your laptop or your mobile phone that you're looking at now. It's the same consciousness. That's not self-evident. It has to be revealed, and this truth is revealed to those who are devoted to the Guru, devoted to the Vedantic teaching, devoted to life of spiritual growth, devoted to the sadhana. Devoted to the Guru means devoted to God, because the enlightened person or a teacher, when they're looking at people, will see only God or Brahman, whatever way they want to look at it. So the invitation is just to have that perception as well. There only is God. Okay. Okay. See you, Judy. Bye. See you later now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So this teaching, it's revealed by means of an auspicious symbol called Chin Mudra, which we know. The one who reveals your own true nature as conscious being, as non-separate from the absolute reality, onto this salutation in the form of my Guru, as well as in the form of Dakshinamurti. Okay, guys, we're going to be pushed for time soon, I think. I want to get this verse, is very important. Verse 8 is the vision of Brahma Yani, the vision of Yani, the vision of Jivan Mukti, the vision of an enlightened person. Okay. This verse, it explains the vision of an enlightened person. That's one who has gained this knowledge. Adi Shankaracharya describes Lord Dakshinamurti here as one who sees the world in a particular way, because enlightenment is a perception. Okay, so you view the world in a particular way. What distinguishes an enlightened person is their worldview or the vision, their perception. How do they see the world around them? How do they relate to the world? And how do they see other people? And how do they see themselves? What's the enlightened person's worldview? One who sees differently, but as oneself. The one who sees all these differences in the world as oneself. This is the highest teaching of Vedanta, and we're going to go into this a little bit here. Everything that you experience is in your mind, guys. We know this already from Lagyavatyavriti and other texts. Everything in your mind is form plus consciousness. We know this as well from Lagyavatyavriti, Dritya. Form is not real, as in form is not that which does not change. Form does change. So everything is consciousness, which is the underlying reality of form. Water does not change, but ocean wave, bubbles, foam will change. Okay, but water doesn't change. This consciousness is identical to Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. And this reality is the underlying existence, the Adhishtantam, because of which everything in the universe exists. Stars, planets, everything on earth, rocks, trees, the whole shebang, the whole lot. Every experience is a form of consciousness. And this consciousness is not an ordinary consciousness. It's extraordinary because it's identical with Atma. This consciousness of experience is identical with I. Identical. Experience is a form of consciousness. Experience is consciousness, and it's identical with I. Which means I am not separate nor different from experience. Which kind of implies, like short of that is, if I'm not separate or different from experience, I'm not lacking any experience. There's no separation, there's no difference. Okay. And this is how we can connect to the Mahavakyas, the highest statements of the truth of Vedanta. And we look at two here briefly, which is Tat Twamasi and Aham Brahmasmi. Tat Twamasi means your consciousness is that reality because of which everything exists. And this is because Twam is the person, Jiva, the person. Tat is God, Ishvara, and the Si is the Aikyam, that which connects both. So that's Tat Twamasi is saying, the teacher saying to the student, you are that, or God is you, that there's no difference between Namanya, God, Vicky, God, Ian, God, and Judy and God. There's no difference. And this is because the Runi is Brahman. This is because Ian, Vicky, Namanya, Judy, and Robert is form of God, which means that Namanya, Vicky, Ian, Judy, Robert are Brahman plus form. Okay, Brahman, consciousness plus form. Okay. Aham Brahmasmi works in the same way. I am because of which everything exists. I cannot say Aham, which is I am. I cannot say I am unless I exist. Okay. And in Lagyavatyavriti, we went through this process to show that I exist in the absence of experience. So experience doesn't define me. I exist in the absence of the mind and of the body. Nirvikalpa Samadhi indicates this. The Yanam from this indicates, the Yanam from Nirvikalpa Samadhi indicates this. What Aham Brahmasmi shows, like we looked at in Lagyavatyavriti, it looks at this I, Aham, and it looks at consciousness and shows how there's no separation, there's no difference. We went through these metaphors about the ocean and the wave in Aham Brahmasmi in quite a lot of detail. Okay, Tat Twamasi is the exact same. So, the vision of Brahmanyani, the vision of an enlightened person, what's it like to have a mind that is the highest level of understanding? And this verse gives you an insight. Because for the enlightened person, they realize that their consciousness is a reality because of which everything exists. The enlightened person, you will see in everything in the world as yourself. Everything in the world as yourself. Because there only is you, Advaita. Everything is you. Everything in the world, cause and effect, is seen as nothing but a manifestation of your own consciousness. And this is the vision of an enlightened person, a Jnani, one who has discovered the truth. Notice that Swami Ramananda says in his notes, everything in the world, you see everything in the world, such as cause and effect, as nothing but manifestation of your own consciousness. We can still see cause and effect and understand there's no cause, there's no effect, there's no cause. We can still see it and talk about it. In reality, there only is Brahman. In reality, we look at there only is water, but we can still talk about the ocean, waves, bubbles, foam. Okay, so we're not bypassing the world. In Advaita and traditional Vedanta, we don't bypass the world. The enlightened person sees everything in the world as oneself, which includes cause and effect, and includes master and the connection to your master. The master could be your boss, could be a spouse, your parent or child, whoever is directing you. You see your master and yourself as another manifestation of yourself, an expression of your own consciousness. You see the student and the teacher as a manifestation of yourself. You regard the teacher as a manifestation of yourself. The teacher regards you as a manifestation of myself, not myself, but myself, Brahman consciousness. Non-separation, non-difference. Non-separation, non-difference, yeah. You see, life is regarded as a natural manifestation of consciousness, of one's own consciousness. See the difference? If it's said that life is a manifestation, the enlightened person sees life as a manifestation of consciousness. We have subtly third-party consciousness, but it is life is a manifestation of one's own consciousness because I am that consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi Sat Chitnanda Atma Satyam Yanam Nantam Brahman. This is me that is being spoke about. This is you that is being spoke about. So it's one's own consciousness. So this manifestation in all the different expressions is the same divinity. Okay? This divinity is present in yourself as yourself. Same divinity is present in the entire world, in every person, tree, and every rock. This divinity, the same divinity manifests as my consciousness. This divinity manifests as your consciousness. I don't mean the person, I mean you, consciousness. The same divinity, it manifests in all forms. This verse, it's an expression, I'm just skipping some due to time, it's okay. This verse is an expression of Advaita, expression of non-duality, the vision of Vedanta, and one who has fully assimilated this truth, this oneness in their vision. This is the way it is for the enlightened person. Everything is seen as one's own self, as a projection of the self due to Maya, okay, which is non-separate or non-different. This world that I'm looking at now, these people that I'm talking to now, are non-separate or non-different from me consciousness. However, it's projected. It's a projection, okay, which means it appears to change, okay. So we still keep this utility of life that this appears to change, but we have this jnanam at the same time that there is only me consciousness, that which does not change. And the verse ends with the one who is Brahman Jnani, the one who is enlightened, who sees the oneness of all, unto that the salutation, who is in the form of my Guru, as well as in the form of Lord Dakshinamurti, God. And the verse ends by a quotation from Swami Ramananda, includes a quotation from Swami Dayananda, who's a Swamiji. The word Guru really can be used only for a person who imparts spiritual knowledge. A Guru is one who unfolds the knowledge that you're whole, non-separate from the Lord. Okay, guys, 2 minutes. Any questions?
No, not really a question. Just one funny thing, like if you say consciousness, it seems like an object or third person. But if you say my consciousness,
Sure.
normally you say it's my iPhone, my glass, my pen, and my consciousness seems so personal. Like my consciousness is the same as your consciousness.
Because initially in Vedanta, we will third party speak about Brahman or consciousness, and then we'll kind of switch and start speaking third party about the person. Okay, but it's just a process. But even in Lagyu Vakya Vritti, we were taught from by Adi Shankaracharya to claim Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, you are Brahman. We have to have that firm conviction. As firm a conviction as I have been Robert that I am Brahman, and for that conviction that I am Brahman to take over, to be primary, and I am Robert to be secondary. So we can only claim ownership of that yanam once we claim ownership of that yanam. Okay, and it's a process. This is nididhyasana. This is the final stage of sadhana, the advanced stage of sadhana. We have to claim ownership. We have all the teachings, and we just have to start claiming that I am not Namanya, Vicky, Ian, Judy, or Robert. I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. And we've run out of time. Okay.
Thank you.
Guys, tomorrow, last class tomorrow, okay? Okay. Namaste then. Bye, everybody. Namaste. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you guys. Bye.